Hey guys, Kaz here, and today I'm going to be doing my April wrap up. Not gonna lie, I've been meaning to do this video for like a week, but I just couldn't be arsed, so we're here now, so let's get into it. So in April I was participating in the Tomes and Treasures readathon. This is a readathon all based in D&D and creating a D&D character, so I will leave like the info of that down below because I think they are going to have like more rounds in the future. I didn't actually manage to complete all 10 prompts because there's 10 prompts and you have to complete them all. I did 8, but again, it has been mentioned that like you can carry on, you can do bits and bobs in between now and whenever they're going to have the next round. So keeping my eye on that, and my character will be complete. But anyway, the first two things I read in April were volume 1 and 2 of The Wicked and the Divine. Volume 1, this one, was a reread, but I read it a very long time ago, so it was like necessary, definitely. And then volume 2 was not a reread. And here's the thing, this series loves a cliffhanger. Both of these volumes, like the ending, it was like, what the shit, I need to read the next one. So they're very good at like grabbing your attention and wanting to carry on. But yeah, this series is about gods, and every 90 years they come down to Earth and they've got 2 years to live, and they're doing stuff like being stars, being celebrities, being loved by the masses, and then everything kicks off, as of course it would with a bunch of gods who all have different egos and different things that they're doing. But yeah, I really enjoyed this series, and it has been one that I've been carrying on in this month, so you will hear some more thoughts there. But yeah, these first 2 volumes, both amazing. They both grab you, they both really good art as well. Let me just show you the art. You know, I love to show you the art when I'm doing this sort of thing, but not that is very spoilerish. Let's pick one that's not very spoilerish, shall we? This is like the second page of the comic, so hopefully not too spoilery. But yeah, this is the sort of artwork we have in here. It's very shiny, you can't see it, but yeah, it's like this, it's like this. My stupid ring light is just getting in the way, but deal with it. And yeah, very much enjoyed both of these, and you'll hear more thoughts in my next month's wrap up. After that I read, whatever this is called, I forget because that is not the cover. Paper Dragons, The Fight for the Hidden Realm by Siobhan McDermott. So this is the first book in some sort of series. It's only just come out. This is an arc I randomly found at a book swap near me. I'm going to take this off because it is way too shiny for this ring light. Let me just, there we go. This is the book I read, and yeah, this is based on Chinese mythology. There's a lot of different things going on. Each sort of part of the realm has a different specific thing that they deal with. So one of them creates stuff with paper, one with glass, ceramic, gold, you know, all that. And our main character was an orphan at one of these places, but everyone treats her like shit because in the glass place, which is the place that she's at, there are dragons about, obviously. It's called Paper Dragons, and all of the people that are from this, I'm going to say city, but it's like from this village, from this place, whenever there's a dragon near, their hair glows, so they know the dragon's near, but her hair doesn't glow. So like there's this girl that calls her No Glow, that is a middle grade, so you know, you can't be too nasty to the characters. But yeah, she's from a different place, people are not very nice about it. And then there's this sort of, not underground society, but there's like this group where only a few people, like one from each place, gets into this, and then there's all these different trials that they have to get through, and then at the end they can be this thing. They're still like a human, but they have this magical power that means that they can be immortal. So that's pretty much what the book is about. So a lot of it takes place in this sort of, my mind keeps saying secret society, but it's not a secret. Everybody knows it exists, they just don't know where it is. In this place, interacting with all these people. I can't remember what they're called. They're like, in fact it's quite funny because I think they're called Sybil Han, because her name's Siobhan. In the back there's this like little bit where she talks about when she went to China or talks to people, because she lives in Ireland, she's got a very Irish name, Siobhan, and when people saw that written down they thought it was Sibohan. So like the society, the group of people in here are called Sibohans, which is really cute. It's really cool that she's come up with that idea. But yeah, right at the end, like the way it's written, it doesn't even sort of end. You know how with The Wicked and the Divine I mentioned cliffhangers? In this, it feels like the next book is going to be like the next sentence of what's happening. It ends right in the middle of stuff kicking off. Like someone's kicked off and they're going to go and sort it out, and then it ends. So yeah, who knows what's going to happen? Not I. But I enjoyed it. Like I said, this is middle grade, it's magical, it's got a lot of Chinese mythology in it, and it was a fun time. Oh yeah, also totally forgot to mention the jellyfish. They've all got like a jellyfish, all of the Sibohans have, and I love jellyfish, so when they want to send messages they tell their jellyfish, and then that jellyfish puts it in like the jellyfish system to pulse out to all the other jellyfish, and then they can tell their Sibohan. It's a fun time. Next up, I read Daughter of the Deep by Rick Riordan, another very shiny book. Oh dear, we'll have to deal with it. As you can tell, my character in D&D was very water-based because Exhibit B. This one is a standalone and I've had it for a while. I finally read it. It was alright. I give it 3.5 stars. I enjoyed it, but it just wasn't like, it wasn't the most fun or interesting or like action packed with Rick Riordan. A lot of the time it's just like really fast paced and really just engaging, but I didn't find that it was 100% there. I did enjoy it though. Like I said, it's a standalone and it's based on Captain Nemo, so our characters in here, the main character, the girl, I can't remember her name, I'm terrible with names. So our main character in here, Anna, is at this school. It's like based in real life, but also there are schools where you learn how to do watery stuff, and then there's like magical stuff going on. So yeah, I just need to make sure this isn't spoilers, because like stuff kicks off straight away. Yeah, it says it on the back. So something kicks off with the school, and then she has to go on this mission to find a place where Nemo's submarine is. And then there's magical stuff happening, and there's a bunch of friends. That's also another thing. I enjoyed it, but I didn't think the sort of group ensemble was used as well as Rick Riordan normally does, so that's another reason I gave it 3.5. But yeah, it's this group of kids trying to pretty much save, not the world, but their little world, because there's this water institute, there's a land institute, and they're fighting and everything kicks off, pretty much. She finds out that she's a descendant of Captain Nemo, so like the water institute or whatever they're called need her to find Nemo's submarine. I just looked at the back again to make sure that's not spoilers, but it does say her not so fictional ancestor, so I'm allowed to say that and it's not spoilering. But yeah, I read it, it was fine. 3.5 stars. After that I read An Arrow to the Moon by Emily X.R. Pan. This is another Chinese mythology one, just randomly got two in there, and it's kind of like a Romeo and Juliet retelling. So yeah, this one, obviously two characters, they fall for each other, their families are not very happy with each other. You know what Romeo and Juliet is about, so you know like the basis of this. And I did enjoy it on the way through it. I felt like the ending was really weird. It felt so left field and out of place. I wasn't sure what I felt about it. I don't know whether I liked it. I don't know whether I didn't like it. I don't know whether I just thought, what the fuck is going on? Pretty much that one. But yeah, it's these two characters. Most of the way through this book, it's just like normal, going to school, enjoying each other's company, knowing that they shouldn't enjoy each other's company because their families hate each other. There's also like some sort of underbelly of like the underworld crimey stuff going on in here. Obviously Romeo and Juliet, they're like, that happens there, but there's that going through as well, and then the ending's like whatever the fuck that was. So I enjoyed it. I think I gave it like 4 stars. I did really enjoy the experience, but like the last chapter I was like, what the hell is going on? But yeah, it was good. And then that happened, so I don't know what I feel about it, as you can tell. most of it was just very much character based, character driven. You're just with these characters doing their thing, living their life, and then the end happens. I'll shut up now, I'll stop saying that. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good book. We're about halfway through, so let's head on over to a message from one of the Spawnies, and then I'll be back with the rest of the books.
Hello, you grassy boy. Look at all of this on your belly. And on your head. You messy sausage.
So next up I read Deadly Class Volume 8. This one is called Never Go Back, and let me just say, Volume 7, I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but I read it like 4 years ago. It was a long time. It might have been longer than that, it might have been less than that, but many years ago, and I didn't reread it. So when I started this I was kind of like, but then you know, my memory kind of jogged, so I knew pretty much what was going on. But this whole series definitely needs a reread when I've got them all. But yeah, this is about a school for assassins and our main character Marcus. It's set in the 80s. He's very much like an emo, but they weren't called emo then. What were they called? The Cure. Just think of The Cure, and then that's what he is. New romantic, little depressive guy. That's who he is anyway. And then he goes to this school for assassins, and again, a lot of things kick off, but I can't really tell you what kicks off because it's Volume 8. But I enjoyed this. I'm sure I will enjoy it more once I read them all together and I fully remember what's going on. But these are just expensive. You can never find them secondhand cheap, so it always takes me ages to get to the next one. I'm trying to like find a page to show you that's not fully 100% spoiler territory, because as soon as this kicks off, obviously stuff's kicking off. That'll do, I reckon. So this is the sort of artwork in here, very different from Wicked and the Divine. Very colour blocky. I'm not sure how many volumes are left, but I think there are only a handful of volumes are left after this, so the story is very much getting going, stuff's kicking off, stuff's kicked off, and then more stuff will in the future kick off. I'm not really explaining this very well, but it is very far into the series. But yeah, a school for assassins, loads of different crime families, everyone trying to fight each other, lots of death in this series in general. Like, if you like a character, don't get too attached, they might die. It's very that, because it's a school for assassins, of course there's going to be people dying. But yeah, glad I finally got to this one, and who knows when I'm going to get to Volume 9, whenever I can find it, when it's not a bajillion pounds. After that I started a new series, annoyingly, because I have quite a few on the go. But for this prompt, I know I've not mentioned the other prompts, but for this one you had to roll a dice, like have a list of 20 books, roll a dice. This is the book that it landed on, and Mr. Monday by Garth Nix. This is the start of it's like middle grade into YA, I would say. It's not fully middle grade, but the character is quite young, but I feel like reading it is quite mature, so that sort of area. And as you can probably tell by the title, Mr. Monday, there's 7 books in the series, and each one is like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, etc. In here we follow Arthur, and he's just living his not best life because he has asthma and he's not very good at, you know, breathing. And then these weird dudes drop off a key, and then everything kicks off. He has to go to this weird different realm, a different place. Stuff's kicking off, we don't know what the hell's going on. There's this weird like pandemic happening in his town. So that was kind of interesting. I feel like it would have been really strange to read this in COVID times, because it's very that, like, there's a quarantine going on, he's trying to fix it, he thinks it's something to do with this weird key that's been handed to him, and then, you know, stuff happens. He goes into this weird house that nobody else can see, but he can see, and then falls into this place. And I can't really say much more than that, I don't think. Stuff kicks off. It's a middle grade, as you can tell. It's not going to be like really kicking off, but it's quite kicking off. And yeah, there's loads of weird and wonderful characters that you meet along the way that are probably going to keep popping up in this series. And yeah, I enjoyed it. And then last but certainly not least, this hefty beast. I read the Nanson's photographs. It's not by Guy Clover, but he was the person that like put it together, because this book was made by the Fram Museum about Fridtjof Nanson's life. And it's just really, it's got everything. It's weird because it's not so in depth that it's like a massive book, if you know what I mean. Like I've read a biography by Nansen that's like this thick and it's just all words. So it's not in depth in that way, but it is in depth in the way that, because obviously the Fram Museum has loads of things about Fridtjof Nansen and the whole crew that went on Fram, all the way through this there's like snippets of all of their diaries. So it's really in depth to the fact that you see like real actual paragraphs written by all of the men on the boat. So it's really cool because you get all of that sort of stuff as well. So in here we do have text. As you can see, this page is a big text. Loads of text and some pictures. But then also we have stuff like this. So it's like building the boat at the beginning, of course. Building the boat. And then, let me try and flip some pages. We also obviously have photographs because it's the Nansen photographs. There's stuff like this as well where it shows you like the real things and talks to you about it. Portraits of all the people on there. And then here, if you can see, it's like Nordhal, the 3rd of May 1894, that is. And then it has big sections of like each of their diaries and stuff. So it's just really interesting. And bloody heavy. It's like over 5 kilograms this is. So, you know, let's not hold it up for too much longer. But yeah, it's just really in-depth, really interesting. It goes into, obviously I've read about Nansen before, I've read his whole biography, but because this does have the perspectives of everyone else on board as well, it's just really interesting to see what everyone was thinking at certain times. And you'll see different members of the crew talking about a certain situation that happened, obviously see their different opinions about it and stuff. So it's just really interesting and really in depth without being like really heavy, because there are those big pictures in between all of this stuff happening. So yeah, I'm gonna pull this down now. And there we have it. Those are all the things that I read in April. So yeah, let me know down below what you read in April. If you participated in Tomes and Treasures, let me know down there. I am very much looking forward to hopefully getting more rounds of this, because I did have a lot of fun. So do the things if you want, like if you want, subscribe if you want, comment if you want, but only if you want. And yeah, I will hopefully be back in a few days. We will see. Like I said, I tried to film this video. I didn't try. I thought about it and thought, for like a week. But we'll see. Maybe I'll film one right now after this just to make sure I've got something. But anyway, be back for that if you want. Bye.